The sky darkened as massive. Sleek alien ships pierced the atmosphere, casting enormous shadows over the cities below. Sirens swelled. Glass chattered and crouched in every direction as fireballs streaked across the skyline. No one knew where they had come from or what they wanted. But one thing was clear: Earth was under siege, and humanity was utterly unprepared. Military forces scrambled to respond, missiles launched into the void, and radar systems overloaded under the alien presence. In the midst of chaos, the question burned in everyone's mind: were we about to witness the end of human civilization? Or could we somehow survive the most advanced force the galaxy had ever unleashed? Earth had never faced a threat like this. Even with our technology, our weapons felt fragile against the alien invaders, whose ships moved with impossible speed and precision. Civilians hid in basements and underground tunnels, trying to make sense of the incomprehensible. Governments struggled to communicate, and chaos ruled the streets. And yet, amid the fear and uncertainty, small sparks of courage and ingenuity began to emerge. Scientists, soldiers, and ordinary citizens started to find ways to fight back, adapting in ways the invaders could never predict. Humanity was about to learn, in the harshest way possible, that survival against an unknown enemy would require every ounce of our resilience, creativity, and unbreakable spirit. The first moments of the alien invasion were sheer chaos. Massive ships blotted out the sun, their hulls shimmering with strange energy that no human sensor could fully comprehend. Cities erupted in fire and panic as beams of alien light carved past through skyscrapers, reducing familiar streets to rubble in seconds. Airplanes attempting to intercept the invaders were shredded mid-flight, their pilots powerless against technology that seemed to anticipate every maneuver. Onze Grund, civilians ran blindly, clutching loved ones as alarms screamed. Windows shattered, and fires spread uncontrollably. Communication networks failed as satellites were disabled, leaving the world in a terrifying silence interrupted only by screams, sirens, and the thunderous roar of alien engines. Amid the chaos, small pockets of human bravery emerged. Firefighters pulled people from collapsing buildings. Soldiers attempted to hold bridges and checkpoints against impossible odds. And strangers helped strangers, forming temporary alliances in the face of annihilation. The alien invaders moved with a precision and coordination that suggested a single mind behind their assault. Yet every human action, every unpredictable decision caused the invaders a moment of pause. Evening terror contemporain, fought and adapted, showing the first hints of resistance that would soon grow into something unstoppable. As the shock of first contact began to subside, humanity fought back with whatever resources were left. Military forces reorganized, launching counterattacks with strategies born from desperation and ingenuity rather than doctrine. Soldiers modified existing weapons to exploit weaknesses in alien armor. Engineers rigged urban structures into traps. And civilians provided intelligence, guiding strikes from the shadows. Improvised militias sprang up, using guerrilla tactics that confused and delayed the invaders. In one devastated city, a team of engineers converted an abandoned factory into a mobile weapon platform, luring alien drones into a narrow corridor before detonating electromagnetic pulses that fried their systems. Stories of heroism spread quickly. A single medic saved dozens of trapped survivors by navigating through fire and debris, while a squad of civilians repelled alien scouts with nothing more than homemade explosives and sheer courage. Humanity's resilience began to show, a chaotic but undeniable force that no alien algorithm could predict. Even as entire cities fell, the spirit of resistance grew, fueled by fear, anger, and a refusal to surrender. It became clear that the battle would not be decided by firepower alone, but by creativity, adaptability, and the unbreakable will of humans determined to survive. Amid the relentless battles, a turning point emerged. Scientists and strategists discovered patterns in the alien assault, subtle weaknesses in their technology that could be exploited. A daring mission was launched. A strike team infiltrated one of the massive motherships, navigating corridors filled with strange machinery and lethal sentries. Using improvised weapons and quick thinking, they transmitted critical information about alien vulnerabilities back to Earth Command. Simultaneously, coordinated counterattacks across multiple continents began to show results. Alien forces were disrupted. Supply lines severed, and isolated units became vulnerable. Intercity, one thought I lost, saw pockets of human fighters reclaim streets using traps, ambushes, and relentless perseverance. Civilians joined the front lines, repurposing vehicles, drones, and even everyday tools into instruments of resistance. The aliens, previously confident, began to hesitate. Encountering humans who did not retreat, did not panic, and refused to die quietly. Every daring maneuver, every act of courage, amplified human morale, spreading like wildfire across the globe. The invaders were forced to confront a terrifying reality. Earth's defenders were unpredictable, relentless, and fiercely united. The turning point was not a single battle won, but the realization that humanity's ingenuity, adaptability, and sheer will could not be underestimated. Despite the growing resistance, the alien presence remained formidable, and the cost of victory was staggering. Cities were in ruins, millions were displaced, and countless lives had been lost, yet humans continued to fight with a determination that astonished even the invaders. Entire fleets of alien drones fell to clever traps and counterattacks, but in some regions resistance required near-superhuman endurance. A small band of survivors held a strategic bridge for days, rationing food and water while fending off relentless waves of attackers. Communication networks were re-established, linking global pockets of resistance into a coordinated force that leveraged every human advantage, knowledge of terrain, emotional intuition, and the capacity for unpredictable strategies. Reports of heroism spread not only across Earth, but were intercepted by alien commanders who began to doubt their initial calculations. Humans, they realized, did not conform to predictable patterns or probabilities. In one decisive moment, a coordinated planetary strike disabled the primary energy conduits of the alien invasion fleet, forcing a partial withdrawal. The aliens, who had underestimated humanity's resolve and creativity, left with one undeniable truth etched into their strategy: humans are not merely survivors. Humans fight, adapt, and rise again, no matter the cost. Battle was for us far from the, but proven fact when connery. Humanity does not surrender, it evolves, it resists, and it endures. The dust began to settle, but the world was far from whole. Cities lay in ruins, smoke still billowed from shattered skylines, and millions mourned those lost in the chaos. Yet, amid the devastation, a quiet truth emerged: humanity had endured. We had faced an enemy unlike anything in our history, an intelligence vast, precise, and terrifying, and we had not only survived, we had fought back with a ferocity and ingenuity that even the invaders could not anticipate. Across continents, survivors shared stories of courage, of ordinary people performing extraordinary acts. Soldiers who should have fallen, civilians who refused to hide, scientists who risked everything to strike back. They had all become part of a collective force that no alien calculation could predict. Humanity had proven once again that our greatest strength was not our technology, our armies, or city, but the spirit that refused to break under pressure. The aliens retreated, their purpose unresolved, their intentions still a mystery, but their impression of humanity had changed forever. Where they expected chaos and submission, they found resilience, creativity, and unwavering courage. The galaxy would come to remember the humans not as a minor species to be crushed, but as a force that refuses to yield, that adapts to any threat, and that can turn even despair into defiance. We had stared into the face of annihilation and responded with ingenuity, sacrifice, and unity. Internations by politics now shared a single identity forged in fire, the survivors of the invasion. The ones who would rebuild, and the ones who would never forget what it meant to fight for their home. But this victory came at a cost. The world had changed irrevocably, and the scars of battle would remain for generations. Humanity had glimpsed the fragility of our civilization, and yet, in that fragility, we found strength. We had learned that fear is not a weakness, but a motivator. That despair can ignite courage, and that the human will, when pushed to its limits, is unstoppable. As cities slowly rose from rubble, as families reunited, and as the first tentative steps of reconstruction began, one truth echoed across the globe. No matter the odds, humanity does not surrender. We endure, we resist, and we rise. The aliens had attacked expecting easy prey. They had underestimated a species that thrives on challenge, that learns faster than any algorithm, that adapts when all seems lost. Earth had survived because humanity refuses to bow, refuses to break, and refuses to die quietly. The invasion had not ended with our destruction, but with our awakening. And as long as humans stand together, no threat, no matter how advanced or alien, will ever define the limits of our will, because we are human. We fight, and we endure.